I want to ask you a little kind of an introspective maybe question because, your parents real estate in 1970s, you real estate at 18 to create cash to go through the college, wanted to be a scientist, kind of knew like once you started doing that, maybe this wasn't it. So my introspective question is, what personal skills or personal strategies, maybe that's a better way to say it, that you feel like are key things that kind of have helped you kind of, I won't say reinvent yourself, but how you knew when to go to the next step, how you knew when it was time to break away from your family, how you knew it was time to go to commercial or just different things. How did you know what strategies, kind of personal strategies that you developed that you knew, okay, this is the time for me to make these changes? Like, can you pinpoint, like, just those personal strategies that kind of are tightly wired to the way you think and the way you process and the way you transition?
Well, thanks. Thanks for that question. So I can't say that it was all planned, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when I broke away from my parents, that was a very difficult thing. We didn't talk for 2 years. Okay,
Wow.
we didn't talk
Gotcha.
for straight 2 years, and so it
Wow.
wasn't so much, hey, now's the time to go to the next step. It was more, uh, here's a new dilemma that I'm facing, and how am I
Okay.
going to deal with it, right? So if
Mm.
anything, anyone who says they've got a crystal ball and knew exactly when to jump onto the next step, they're lying.
Mm.
The biggest takeaway I think is just when the going gets tough, you just gotta keep on trudging away at it until you see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Gotcha.
Um, and so a lot of times in fact, there's a guy named Alex Hermosi, right? You've probably heard of him. And he
Yeah.
talks about this a lot, so I relate to this a lot, but he'll say the same things very similar to the way that I thought, which is it wasn't like I had some clear exact path. Sometimes you just have to keep taking the hits until you see the path or the light and then start going down that direction. Me, I like to map things out. So I will always kind of map out multiple scenarios, good, bad. I'd like to, they call it game theory now, right? So like I like to play chess. I like to play a lot of strategy games, and you kind of have to map things out. I'm a spreadsheet junkie. And
Mm.
then coupled with the fact that you have those simple tools of always writing down your goals literally on a
Yeah.
piece of paper and crossing them out. So when those dilemmas or those crises came, it would always be a matter of one kind of sticking through to it until you see the light. Once you see the light, which is, hey, how am I going to get out of this situation or improve it? Then mapping out like literally with steps and writing down, here's where I'm at, here's where I want to be, but also being able to kind of be resilient enough to go the other way, or to change direction or pivot if you see that what you're trying to do isn't working, right? And so and and then the biggest thing is just hanging in there. Like like even if you're just trying to keep things going. So in the beginning, if you remember, like when I was talking about like the whole strategy behind buying a fourplex, the whole purpose behind it was making sure I had housing and income always coming in. And so whether it was a little or whatever I had to work with, right? In order to just pay the college tuition, right? So by the time I got out of college, there was no debts. And then as I started seeing, hey, this cash flow is good because, I have X amount. And then as I'm growing that X amount to a larger amount, I'm just kind of staying and living within those means. And so anything else above that, if I close a deal or, do a loan or do whatever, it's just extra cash, right? And so those are the things that I've always kind of just been ingrained in me, is budgeting out, like right down to when you're first learning how to balance a checkbook, right?
Sure.
So a
Yeah.
lot of times I tell people like, hey, take some kind of a background in accounting if you can, right? I mean, I did not take any, classes in accounting, but I kind of learned along the way because I'm using tools like QuickBooks and just understanding, oh, here's what a chart of accounts is. Oh, here's what a balance sheet means, right? Here's how that plays into other things. And then, of course, because I'm in an industry where I have to utilize these tools to do a loan for somebody or to do a loan
Yeah.
for myself, that was, that was that foresight that I'd be able to get. that as I'm trying to trudge through a dilemma and figuring your way out, you at least have a foundation of things to know, well, here's my burn rate. Here's what I've got to work with. Here, how much time before, can I hold on for dear life if I'm in a dilemma before that cash is gone? Or do I always have some kind of replenishable cash? So for me, that was creating multiple income streams, right? And so that's the mindset that I would always kind of take into any type of industry, whether it's real estate or something else. And it was something that I always would try to ingrain into my clients' habits and even that of my agents who work with me, uh, just to make sure, I let them know that, hey, I'm not just saying this to be saying it. I actually do this stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mr. Brian, I thank you so much, man. You have given us really good nuggets. You've given us really good tools. Thank you for taking us through the process, your business strategies and your personal strategies. I think it was absolutely fascinating. I know people that are listening has really got some great nuggets from you. So listen, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate, how can they reach out to you, Mr. Brian?
The best way to reach out to me, probably I'll just give you drop my personal email. Well, not my personal email, but my main business email is Brian, that's with an I, Brian, the at sign, and then bcre.co. So that's Bravo Charlie Romeo Echo dot co. There's no M, it's a dot co. But outside of that, they can Google my name and they'll probably get access to the different companies that I have and reaching out either to one of my personal assistants to find um, my calendar or things of this nature. So but just a direct email always works and really helps out.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Brian, thank you so much. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your story. And just thank you for your perspective. I think you have brought a ton of value to our listeners. And just thank you so much for being here and sharing with us today.
Quentin, thanks. It's my pleasure being here, and I hope your listeners get some benefit from that knowledge, and feel free to reach out again.
Absolutely. Well, listen, y'all heard Mr. Brian. He giving you information, so definitely check him out. But definitely make sure you are subscribed here because we're going to continue to bring up amazing, fascinating people just like Mr. Brian. So, sir, I thank you again, and to everyone else, we'll see you on the next time.